Hi to everyone and welcome back to the Data Science Accelerated course. Today we will see the first analysis on dataset and where we can actually do to ourselves some questions and to get the answers from data. Today we will see operation like group by and assign, that are all operation to modify and manage our data frame. And we will use as dataset the very famous in the data science world dataset, that is the Titanic disaster dataset, and you can take it to this world, but probably you will find it very easy on the web, so you can go here, and here there is the link to download the dataset, and take it and put everywhere you want, but you need to remember where you have put it, because it's important for the next commands. So first, in every worksheet, import your libraries. So in this case, our libraries will be Pandas, alias as PD. This is a best practice in Pandas, because in Python Pandas is always called in this way, but never so you can do something like this, but it's not it's very custom, but it's not very useful, so we will use PD. And then we have imported Panda. Then the command is pd.read csv, and here you have to put your path. In my case, path should be this one, yes. Okay. Okay, and here we have our dataset. So it's useful to assign this data to a variable, for example, Titanic. Okay, and then I want to explore this dataset together. So the first column is the index that is put here by default from Pandas, because all data frames must have an index. Then in this column is a binary column. It contains only 0 and 1. And what does it mean? It means that if you are a passenger in Titanic, and if you survived in the incident, you will have here a 1, and if you aren't survived, you have a 0. So this is a binary information, 0 and 1. P class is the passenger class on the ship. So if you are very rich people, probably you will be in the first class. Instead, you will be in the second or unfortunately in the third class. Then we have the name of the passenger. So you can see that if you haven't understood yet, that each row is a passenger. Each row of this dataset is a passenger. And then we have the sex, male, female, the age. If there is a partner aboard, or if there is there are parents or children aboard, and then fair is what do you have what you have paid to get to the Titanic ship. Okay, so what we want to do now? I want to make you a question. Is there a column that can in some way decide in which particular weight on this decision if you will survive or not? So if you will have a 0 or a 1 in this column. And in particular, I want to choose a specific column that is the class, the P class. So I want to know if there is a there is a correlation between to stay in a specific class and the statistic probability to survive to the Titanic incident. So to do that, we have to start manipulating our dataset. So I just want to add some column to this dataset. So the first thing we have to do is to group by our dataset by the P class column, and we have to do this in this way. Titanic, sorry, dot go by. Here we have to put the column by we want to go by, and this is the we have said that it is this P class, okay, and we could run the cell, but it will return nothing because this is a particular generic object data frame group by. It is insufficient to display some data. Instead, we have to put here some function that say to Python, but in this case to Pandas, what we want to do with the other columns. So the other data, we are grouping data by P class. So each column with 3 in P class will be grouped together. And what do we want to do with this other data? And we could use this function, for example, the count function. And in this way, we have a count of each row for each class. So here we can see that we have 216 people in the P class. Or we can use another function, mean. So in this way, we can display the mean for the numerical data. Obviously, we can't do a mean of the name of a passenger, but we can do a mean of the age of the passenger for each class. So, and here we have, for example, that the mean age for the first class was 38, and instead we have very young people here, 25. We don't know how it could be half people with, for example, 40 years, and the other half with 10 years. We can't know exactly how is distributed the data, but this doesn't matter for this analysis. Now I want to use a specific function that is very useful in this case. That is sum. Why? Why? Because we want to know if something about if people were survived or not. In particular, if how many people was survived to in the third or in the first or in the second class. And this is very useful because in the survived column we have 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, and so on. And what will happen if we sum all these numbers? It happens that the 0 doesn't influence the result, and instead we will count each one, so each people that will survive. And so with this function, control space, here we have the exact number of survived people. And here we can say very strange data, because we have 136 survived in the first class, and we could expect it. In fact, we previously have said that probably if you are rich people, probably you are an important people, and probably you will be helped better in this in the Titanic incident. But here we have a strange report, because the number of survived people in the second class is minor than the survived people in the third class. It's not what we expected. In fact, if we want to plot this data, just a moment. Okay, and then I want to plot this. I want to take the survived column and plot which kind of plot. Probably the better in this case is the bar plot. And here, and here the poor second class people survived. And but I'm not sure about this data. Why? Because here we have the absolute value of survived people. Instead, I want to know the relative value, because we don't know how many people there were in the first or in the second or in the third class. So I want to know how many people for the number of total people, how many people survived for the number of the total people in this class, for example. To do that, we have to create a new column that is a rate column between the number of survived and the total number of passenger for this particular class. To do that, we can use a function that we have seen previously, the count function. And I want to remember yeah. Okay, we have to do this. Another group by again. Yeah. Okay, P class and count function. So here we know now that we have 216 people in the first class, 184 people in the second, and 487 people in the third class. And now we can take this column that is equal to the other column because we have just count the row for each P class. So it doesn't matter with what data we had here, because we have just to count the number of row that have 3, 1, or 2. Okay, so here we can use we have to choose a specific column. For example, we can use that. Okay, now we have a series and no more data frame, but it doesn't matter because we want to generate a new column in this new data frame. So the command to create a new column is assign. It takes as parameters the name of the new column, that in this case is this one, for example. And here we have to put what we want to insert in this column. So in this way is okay, is this value. I want to show you. Okay, these values and divided by the number of passenger for each class. So we have the number of survived divided by the number of people for each class. And to do that, we just have to take it, copy. Here we want to put Titanic.class. We have said that we want to take this column, so in this way, divided by this, and here we have the new column with the rate. And now I want to plot this data frame. Yeah. Okay. I want to just take this column, so I will do that. Okay, dot plot kind bar as previously, and now we have a bar plot of the rate, and now we can see that for the first class more than the 60% of people will survive or have survived, and here unfortunately only more than the 20% of people of the third class will survive. Okay, so for this video it's all. As always, if you have some question, suggestion, tips, just write it under this video. Bye, we'll see you to the next video.